Sustainability, ESG, and corporate responsibility can sometimes feel abstract or even political for cleaning professionals focused on running day-to-day operations. But what if ESG isn't about ideology at all? What if it's simply a practical business framework that many cleaning companies are already using without calling it that? In this conversation today with Steve Ashkin, we're going to get into this and focus on an article he wrote recently that you're going to really enjoy. Steve, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you and I appreciate everyone listening in.
Let's get right into it. This article you wrote, I like the title, Cleaning with the Conscience. You emphasize that ESG is not political, but a practical business framework. Why do you think that ESG has been misunderstood in the cleaning industry? And maybe a part two of that question, what's the simplest way to reframe it for business owners today?
Let me be direct. I'm really not sure why it's framed the way it is. And candidly, Jeff, in many respects, it doesn't matter. I just accept the fact that some people think it's about politics or they think it's about trying to understand mankind's responsibility for climate change or it's some kind of woke practice or whatever it is. And people are all entitled to their opinion. So why they feel that way, I don't know. But I think they look at it incorrectly. If you look at things like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, it's in five major categories and there's 17 goals. 17. So, for a company who and a person working on sustainability, and in our industry, it's often someone who's wearing 12 other hats and have all kinds of other things and responsibilities to do. Plus, they have limited technical expertise on sustainability. Trying to figure out what goes into 17 different buckets is just a nightmare. So the way we frame ESG is simply it's a way to organize your information. It's really not complicated. It's not intended to be political. It's just smarter business. Jeff, we did an article and we've talked about this many times on Think Sustainably. That's what this is. How do we do things in a way that's relevant, do things in a way that's smart, do things in a way that's efficient? So ESG is just a simplification of how to organize an organization's data. So I hope that answers your question, but gosh, I wish people would get over all the other nonsense and let's get down to business.
So let's talk about that, Steve. I like your response. You describe ESG as something that should be, I guess, embedded into an organization's DNA, for lack of a better phrase, rather than treated as a separate initiative. Simplify it for us. Those watching, what does that look like in real day-to-day cleaning operations?
Especially in a cleaning operation, we recognize that our people are really important and how we treat our people. We recognize that our customers and the occupants in the buildings we clean, especially if we're cleaning during the day and the buildings are occupied, how to be conscientious about them, right? Considerate of them. We do that every day. And, what we're really trying to talk about is, ESG and sustainability isn't a separate issue. It's just a management tool like thinking about safety or thinking about quality. It's just something we should do every day to make sure we're being conscious, we're being aware, we're being considerate of how the things we do with our people, how we do things with the products that we use, how we dealing with our customers, how we manage our organizations. It's just, as you mentioned, part of our DNA. This is what we need to do to be successful, to be efficient.
Yeah, I know we've talked in the past about the people as part of this. I'm glad you mentioned that because that was one thing I did want to ask about today, but that dignity, that paying them the right amount, the whole thing, the whole package about taking care of your people fits into this. I do want to speak to the smaller companies out there, maybe smaller mid-sized companies. So they might feel overwhelmed by requests to do all of this, especially from larger customers who may have a, I don't know, a stricter framework or a higher level of looking at things than maybe your smaller cleaning companies feel they can provide. What can they do about that, Steve? And how can ESG be simplified, or how can they make this work to give those larger companies what they want?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to recommend, Jeff, is if you work for a small or medium-sized company and you have responsibility for addressing sustainability related stuff, addressing customer requests, those kind of things, the first thing I really want to encourage you to do is join ISSA Sustainability Committee. Be with a group of other people who are all learning, who are sharing ideas. Um, you know, this is something we can do together, right? I really look at sustainability actually as pre-competitive because we're just trying to be more efficient and we're trying to benchmark and we're trying to improve. So join the ISSA Sustainability Committee. It's free, it's enormously valuable, and that's number one place I want to start. And then there's lots of information out there already. We've published lots of stuff. I know in your publication, Jeff, we've talked about this a lot, but the standards, the requirements, they're all getting pretty much flushed out. Everyone's starting to follow the same things. I mean, let's face it, everyone uses energy, right? Whether we're talking about electricity or we're talking about the fuels for our vehicles, right? Everyone's using products. Everyone has to figure out something related to transportation. We all have to figure these things out, water, waste. So it's not like we're all reinventing the wheel. So candidly, let us help you do it. It's really not that complicated. And sustainability in the end is just good business practices, right? Because you spend a lot of money on that stuff. So how do we really think about it in a way that drives efficiency? And how do we measure it? How do we think about it so that we operate as a real business? As we talked about earlier, Jeff, this really should be part of the DNA. Just like you track your purchases, you should track these other impacts because it really does affect your business.
I do like how you often bring out how simple it can be, but people looking at the whole thing at one time, it's a big piece of pie to take to eat when you think about it that way. But the committee's a great idea. Good start there.
What's that old saying, Jeff? How do you eat an elephant? Right? One bite at a time. And I think that's true with undertaking any project.
Hmm.
How do you get started? Where do you start? And, we could spend, a whole nother interview talking about what those things are. And, but that's what it takes. And I think, again, it's just good business practices. And besides, my understanding is elephants taste pretty good.
I think a pie is a better idea.
Okay, we'll go with pie. I don't really like eating elephants, that idea either.
Yeah, I've never eaten an elephant, but sometimes we do tasks that feel like it. That's for sure. All right, last question. Thinking about cleaning companies, just starting to hear more about this, and they're really trying to embrace the ESG idea. They're getting questions. From your viewpoint, what is a first practical step they can take to prepare for all this, to make it work for their company without overhauling their entire business?
Well, I'd like to say that I have a magic wand and, we could click on it and everything works perfectly. It doesn't work that way. The first thing to understand is you just got to get started. And you know, perhaps the best thing for people to do is to start thinking about what their big issues are. And, if they're trying to respond to a customer requirement, look at what they're asking for. If they're trying to do something like the Carbon Disclosure Project, what are they asking for? Because in some respects, everyone asks the same thing. And so try to get a handle on what it is you're trying to solve. What really is the problem? And then the other issue is to really think about, and here's one of these technical terms for sustainability nerds. And it's a concept called materiality. And basically, what that term means is think about what's important for your business. And by important, we're not just talking about how you spend your money, but for example, in the cleaning world these days, people are our biggest challenge, right? Recruiting and retaining employees is really a challenge. And just as we think about safety issues, really start thinking about what's going on with your people and tracking the data a little bit. You know, if you're spending a lot of money on equipment or spending a lot of money on products, or if you're spending a lot of money on getting your people to the job sites, really think about what those things are. And then we can start tracking it, or you can start tracking it to really pay attention to what's going on. Fundamentally, Jeff, I think people in the cleaning industry are incredibly talented and smart and entrepreneurial and creative. So if we really sort of dig into this a little bit, we can figure this stuff out. And again, we're not reinventing the world. Um, excuse me, we're not really reinventing the wheel. Maybe we are reinventing the world. I kind of hope so a little bit because we really can make it better. But the point being is, there's enough information these days to really help guide us on what's important. And as a matter of fact, ISSA, we're putting together a sustainability reporting platform that can help, members do this stuff as well. But the bottom line is to get started and to really understand what your bosses want. Remember, we run a business. So I really want to encourage people to think about things that will help them save money, which typically is driving efficiency. And the cool thing about that is if you use less energy, if you use less water, if you use less materials, all those things, it typically has a better impact on the environment. So you can show environmental benefits as well. So again, this all comes back down to good business practices to really think about how do we really demonstrate our consciousness of these issues and to translate them into good business practices.
Well, Steve, thank you for this today. The article, Cleaning with the Conscience, comes out mid-March 2026. Reinvent the world? Why not?
Why not
Why
indeed?
not?
If we don't do it, who will?
Someone less qualified. So let's get it done right.
Oh, and by the way, getting it done right, if you don't mind, Jeff, we let, we don't like talking about this very much, but let's be honest. We work in an incredibly mature industry,
True.
right? Where many of our customers look at what we do as a commodity. They'll literally change contractors for pennies, literally, right? Doing this stuff can help companies differentiate themselves. It'll help companies lead. I mean, ultimately, everyone's going to do this, but there's a real advantage to the first movers. So I really want to encourage you to do this because it'll help you with your customers, it'll help you with your employees, it'll help you financially. And this is really the time to act. Don't put it off. There are tools available for you. Move now, act now, take advantage of the opportunity now. It is really not that hard and it'll generate enormous success.
Steve, thank you for this today.
My pleasure, and thank you all for listening in.